The Packers selected Devontae Wyatt from Georgia, despite some off-field issues. Bart Scott, formerly of the New York Jets, the Baltimore Ravens. He was one of the guys elbow to elbow with Phil Simms on CBS's NFL Today. Yeah. Here he is on ESPN Radio talking about the red flags that Devontae Wyatt brings to the Green Bay Packers.
They need to get tough up the middle. And I know Wyatt may have some type of off the field issues, but you have to be able to get some tough guys, and everybody can't be choir boys. You know, when I was with the Ravens, we had to make sure that we had at least 2 people on the team with a couple felonies just to make sure our street cred was right when we had to go into these back alleys and pass some of these dog fights. Sometimes you got to have some people that's not no choir boys. That's why you have a strong locker room to hold them in check.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with the felonies.
I said, the funniest sign I've ever seen in my life was 52 plus 31 equals 10 to 20. It was Ray Lewis plus Jamal Lewis equals 10 to 20 in prison. So listen, you got to have some guys with Terrell Suggs beat a dude with a stop sign coming out of Arizona State. You know what I mean? You got to have a couple guys like that. We can clean them up. We can get them counseling, but you got to have a couple goons, and you definitely got to have some goo goblins, and you got to get a couple.
You know what? Somebody threw a lifeline there, and he threw it back.
What would they try to say?
You can hear it about.
Yeah, what was it?
You can hear about. I don't know, but you got to be careful there. Something along those lines. I think they were trying desperately to get Bart Scott to realize how quickly he was descending into the quicksand with that take. I don't even know where to take it from there. It's newsworthy because it's stunning and it's shocking. I don't think that.
Well, yes, I'll take it.
I just don't think that the NFL wants its product presented that way. I have a feeling somebody from 345 Park Avenue is making a phone call today, if they didn't already yesterday, to Bristol to explain their concern about the way Bart Scott characterized the players in the league.
I think he's, again, Bart's a colorful guy. I know Bart a little bit. I mean, he's very, in touch with football and been on some great teams and knows the game. I think he was having a little fun with the subject, trying to make a point a little here, a point that I don't think is, again, the league might not want it said, but I don't think it's like that crazy in the NFL world. And again, hear me out. Not that teams want guys that actually got felonies. It's not that. He's trying to make more of the point of, they don't want a bunch of Boy Scouts. There's got to be a few guys in the locker room with some edge to them. There's got to be. There is. And I think that is standard protocol, with a lot of football teams. I've even heard stories of Belichick talking about that. That's why, again, Randy Moss, Aqib Talib, love those type of guys because they brought an energy and a street cred to the locker room. They don't have felonies. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying there was something about them, an edge that you can bring to the locker room. I was on teams with plenty of personalities like that, and I think that's the point he's trying to make. You got a team that's just got, too many good guys and yes, sir, no, sir, and everything that way. Yeah, at some point, things get ugly on a football field, and you need one guy that's out there going, we got to be crazy and get crazy and play better and set the example and show that, and usually it is that kind of guy that's, again, not felonies, but got a little bit of an edge about him that brings it to your football team, and coaches and organizations do like that, and I think that's what Bart was trying to do. Maybe he just went too far.
In 2020, Devontae Wyatt, who was the 28th overall pick by the Green Bay Packers, he was charged with misdemeanor criminal trespass after having an argument with a woman he had lived with on and off. He allegedly kicked her door multiple times from the hallway, damaging the door and forcing it open. That's according to the University of Georgia police. Charges were dismissed several months later. So that's what he allegedly did that created the concern that gave Bart Scott the starting point. And I think the more artful way to put it, and I don't know that because Devontae Wyatt, I don't know that this take follows from why Devontae Wyatt got in trouble. Just because he got mad and kicked a door doesn't mean that he's one of the guys that's going to set the mentality you're talking about. I think more like Brian Dawkins.
Sure.
Like you want a guy that is going to prepare the team to go out and engage in an inherently physical endeavor where one guy is banging against another guy over and over again all game long. And Brian Dawkins could get someone fired up without any off-field clouds of any kind. Brian Dawkins had a way to pull the ripcord on the lawnmower for the entire team.
Yeah.
And so if that's his point, it has nothing to do with what you do away from work. It's what you do in the locker room to get your team ready. I think what he wants is even more than that. He wants that attitude of, when we get off the bus, everybody pees a little bit. Right. Everybody sees these guys and says, uh-oh, we're in trouble today. Because they got some bad dudes literally on their team.
No doubt. Well, we talk about this a lot during the season, right? You know, the Ravens are one of those teams every year. We go, well, if we went into just back alley, bar room brawl, the Ravens are going to be one of those teams that every year we're going to go, they're the Final Four here. Yeah, because they believe that a little bit. They want big dudes that are a little bit mean and nasty that way. It doesn't mean felonies. You're right. Dawkins is a special entity that way. Very rare in that he could, be one guy all week and then just be this other guy. That player doesn't usually exist. Usually the guy we're talking about, yes, he's emotional, intense, and kind of the crazy guy on Sunday, because he's also crazy the other 6 days of the week a little bit. And, yes, he might have got in trouble because somebody messed with his friend and then he beat the crap out of the guy, right? And now he's got that. But it's like in the NFL world, people aren't going, well, he's a felon and what a bad guy. They're going, yeah, the guy stuck up for his friend and beat the crap out of some jerk. It's the kind of guy we want in our locker room. So I think that's what he was trying to portray a little bit. And, again, I'm not trying to say felony or bad things that way. I'm just we're trying to paint the picture of, yes, it's not choir boys in the NFL locker room all the time.
Bottom line,
yeah.
No matter how much the game has changed from a health and safety standpoint in the last 13 years, it is still a game that is premised on physicality and intimidation.
Right.
And that's, I think, I'm not trying to help Bart Scott out of the quicksand because I don't want to end up in it with him, but I think he's talking about the intimidation factor. That guys like that help you bring a level of intimidation that you otherwise wouldn't have. And that is part of the basic human reality of football. No matter how much it's changed, no matter how much safer it's gotten, until they make it two-hand touch, that's going to be part of the allure of building a team. I think that's what he meant.
Exactly. That's the way I say it, too. He just was trying to be
Wouldn't
fun
be the first time.
Yes, exactly right. I'm with you there. Yep.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.